Slang is something that is all around us. Whether we know it or not, it's used in movies, music, and some of our favorite books. Slang is something that is used by all races, ages, sizes. We all come from different walks of life. This big issue with slang is how and when to use it. We must remember that slang is slang and isn't a slur. It's used to differentiate groups, ages, and potentially cities. How you say something in Chicago may be different in New York. How you say something to a businessman is different from a skateboarder. How you say something to your parents is different from your friends.
All right then.
Bad and bougie,
Crunk.
dog,
Extra.
Wayne.
What's good, G?
hecka, ice, jewel,
Keep it 100.
Lit.
Make it rain.
And Netflix and chill.
OMG.
Peace out.
Quit it.
Respect.
Snatch.
Turns.
Ugly AF.
vibing.
Well, you know, I read all these papers over the weekend and I was really woke.
Squeeze me. Yes.
So,
Slang began in the earliest times, starting back in the 1870s when the first slang term was dude. Slang soon then took a break and resurfaced back in the 1950s. Slang then took off in the 60s and the 70s. Remember in high school when you had to watch the movie about the defiant teens with all the slang? Yeah, that's The Outsiders. Slang, of course, is a cultural idea and is changing constantly. Many movies and music of time periods help define the popular slang of that specific period. In the 60s and 70s, movies such as Saturday Night Fever and Woodstock helping define pop culture and along with
Well,
slang.
I mean, I think some slangs that I've heard can be, depending on how it's being used, could be used negative or positive. Well, I'll even just go back to the slang that was used when I was growing up. That I think some people still use now. OG, old girl. You call your mom old girl, which I think is kind of not too good or too cool to be calling your mom an OG. And yeah, that's the negative on that. And the positive is if you're referring to a friend maybe as an OG, I think it would be cool, but your mom, no.
Slang is something that is commonly used but have its faults. Using the correct slang and who to use it to is important because you wouldn't want to offend anybody. The 80s took slang and ran with it, turning many terms we use today and turned them into something different. The 80s was a cultural explosion, with many acts such as Madonna, Run DMC, and Cyndi Lauper, and with many popular movies such as The Breakfast Club, Coming to America, and 16 Candles, fueling high school culture. Slang exploded.
some of the slang that I have used or heard: lit, shooketh, gang. Oh God, there's like a lot. Is LOL considered slang? LOL, LMAO, bye Felicia. Just, I mean, all of them pretty much.
So we use a lot of like sounds in slang. So if someone did something uncomfortable, they'd be like, "Whoop," you know, like it'd be like someone says something and it's uncomfortable, and then I don't know what to do. Instead of saying something like awkward, you'd make a sound like "Whoop." Some other things, saying like that's sick, right? So like if you have cool shoes, you might be like those are sick. If a girl was talking to a guy, you might hear the word hun. If you got made fun of, be like, oh, you got dissed. Raw was kind of like, this is really cool. Whatever is kind of just like, I don't know, uncertainty. G2G and BRB were for AOL Instant Messenger. That was a big way we communicated back there before social media, was through AIM. So a lot of our abbreviations were to save time, and also to be quick and really out of laziness. And we also had a lot of like different, I don't know how to say it, like body language. So if someone was like uncomfortable or awkward, you might like slowly like step away in a way that was obvious that you're walking away, but also in a way to kind of remove yourself from the situation.
Some of my favorite movies are Marvel movies. I like documentaries. I mean, it's all across the board. Yeah, I don't have any specifics I can name on the spot.
Gidget, That Girl, and The Three Stooges.
As time moves on, so does pop culture, and so does slang. With more artists emerging, such as Sir Mix-a-Lot, MC Hammer, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and movies such as The Mask, Pulp Fiction, and Space Jam, slang was rocketed into the 2000s.
Bands, My Chemical Romance, song, Bodak Yellow, Cardi B, Migos, Gucci Mane.
So in high school, I really liked classic rock. That was a big thing that I was really into, like Led Zeppelin. I remember one day my mom came into my room when I was doing homework, and I was listening to Led Zeppelin. She's like, "This is what I listened to when I was in high school." And it was kind of for her, it was, I think, she was impressed, but a little bit like, it was a little awkward, because it was like, this is like a different era, but you're listening to my music that I used to listen to. And I also really liked 80s, like, weird 80s music that was like, I don't know how to say it, like pop 80s music. So I thought it was just the synthesizers were really funny and goofy, and I like that.
The internet has affected slang, including abbreviations, new internet slang, and how social media and IM slang changed. Slang through sounds and slang through body language and slang through messaging. Donnie Darko, Mean Girls, Anchorman, Napoleon Dynamite, The Hangover, Zombieland, Step Brothers, White Chick, Austin Powers, 21 Jump Street, and 22 Jump Street are more of many movies have showed this how.
There could be some changes, like some slang words I don't agree with would be like retard, retarded. Those are offensive. Sometimes with slang it can get kind of offensive, so we just kind of gotta watch out and be mindful of our neighbors.
And I was like, yes, I heard that, yes, I heard that, yes, I heard that. And I was asking other students about slang, like, never heard that, never heard that, never heard that. And I think a lot of it has to do with, slang could be like a little bit of counterculture. So it's kind of a way to code switch into whatever group you want to talk with and have power within. So, for instance, for me to hear what I hear, if I have no idea what it means, that gives power to the individuals that know what that term means. So as an authority figure, I can't really know what's happening. And it gives students, I think, a sense of privacy in that way. So not necessarily if you know slang doesn't mean you're doing bad things, it just means you're using code to have a private conversation in public, right, with only that group that you want to communicate with.
I think slang has impacted the world positively because it's just a way that teens talk amongst each other, but there also should be a barrier between how we use it, because there's slangs that like people use to insult people, just much like racial slurs and talking to people with mental illness.
Our world is changing day by day, and many things around it. Slang is one of many things that are changing over time. We must keep in mind that although slang is fun to use with friends, we must be mindful of how we use it and who we say it to, because some words are more hurtful than others. Slang is something that is used a lot in our English vocabulary. We all know that it has changed over the years, but do we really know how much? Who is it affected, or if some are just completely stuck in their era?
Oh, drastically. I mean, you could go from, being here in Chicago to New York, and, they use a different word other than lit for something being, lit, or go to Cali, and it goes across the board, and even people coming from New York to Chicago, they could understand what you're saying. It's, it brings us together.
Extra.
A person that's just doing too much.
Goat.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Lit.
Something that's real cool.
Snatched.
That's really cool.
Turnt.
Turn. I'm not too sure about turn.
Folk shizzle. That's like a for sure kind of deal. Fly. That means it's just cool looking.
Alright.
What does raise the roof mean?
Having fun, I guess.
What does tight mean?
Tight clothes.
What does chill pill mean?
Chill down.
Faux shizzle?
Nizzle.
Well, you know, I read all these papers over the weekend, and I was really woke.
Yes.